ఇంటర్మీడియట్ విద్యా రంగంలో అగ్రగామి మన ఎన్ఎస్ఆర్ ఇంపల్స్ ఎడ్యుకేషన్ ఇన్స్టిట్యూషన్. ఐఐటి జేఈఈ అయినా నీట్ అయినా తిరుగులేని విద్యా సంస్థ ఎన్ఎస్ఆర్ ఇంపల్స్.
So next, again we can discuss about some examples, some models in this. So let us say page number 236, one example. A conducting rod Mn moves with a speed v. A conducting rod Mn moves with a speed v parallel to a long straight wire which carries a constant current I as shown in the diagram. The length of the rod is normal to the wire. Find the EMF induced in the total length of the rod. State which end will be the lower potential. Which end will be the lower potential. So that's we have to calculate. Here, example problem. So this is the infinite current carrying conductor I, and this is the conducting rod Mn. So this is the current carrying rod Mn, and it's moving upwards with velocity v according to the given condition. The nearer end is at a distance a, and this is a. Nearer end is at b, and total length is nothing but a. So that is the given situation. So EMF, what is the EMF induced? So here, what is the direction of the magnetic field? Thumb indicates the direction of the current. Curling of the fingers indicates the direction of the magnetic field. If the thumb indicates the direction of the current, curling of the fingers indicates the direction of the magnetic field. Here the direction of the magnetic field is inwards, no doubt about that. So the direction of the magnetic field. Magnetic field direction is inwards. So here, from this position onwards we have to calculate. So let us consider magnetic field. What is the magnetic field due to the infinite current carrying wire? Magnetic field due to the infinite current carrying wire. Generally it is mu naught I by 2 pi r. Mu naught I by 2 pi r. So what is r? Here the distance varies from b to b plus a. Nearer end is at a distance b, farther end is at a distance b plus a. So that means the uniformly distributed magnetic field from this end to this end uniformly distributed. So how can we calculate that? So that is, for that purpose I am considering the small length dx at a distance x from the conductor. I am considering the small length dx at a distance x from the conductor. Let us consider a small portion dx at a distance x from the conductor. At a distance x from the conductor. So what is the magnetic field at a distance x? Magnetic field at a distance x. So B can be written as mu naught I by 2 pi x generally. So magnetic field due to the infinite current carrying conductor, magnetic field due to the infinite current carrying conductor at a distance x from the conductor. So that is B equals to mu naught I by 2 pi x. What is the direction? It is inwards direction. Now for the small for small length dx, let us say for small length dx, the EMF induced is, the EMF induced dE is equals to generally BLV, B dx into V. For the small length dx, let us say L is the length of the conductor. In that situation I am considering the dx. Just I am considering dx. So that is b dx into v. So that is dE is equals to, b value is mu naught I by 2 pi x dx into v. So total EMF induced, total length, total EMF induced. So E is equals to integral of dE. The dE varies from B to B plus A. So the length of the conductor, that is where from what position? The magnetic field, here the magnetic field region varies from B to B plus A. B to B plus A. So that is E is equals to integral of B to B plus A, dE in the sense mu naught I by 2 pi x into dx into V. So E is equals to mu naught IV by 2 pi, mu naught IV by 2 pi, integral of B to B plus A into 1 by x dx. Integral of 1 by x dx is log x. So therefore E is equals to mu naught IV by 2 pi into log x in between the limits B to B plus A. Therefore E is equals to mu naught IV by 2 pi. So log of B plus A minus log B. First substitute upper limit minus lower limit. So E is equals to mu naught IV by 2 pi. So log A minus log B, log of B plus A divided by B. So that is mu naught IV by 2 pi log of 1 plus A by B. So this is the EMF induced in this situation. Simply E is equals to mu naught IV by 2 pi log of 1 plus A by B. So this is the situation. So due to the infinite current carrying conductor, this is the direction of the magnetic field is inwards, direction of the magnetic field is inwards, and the conductor moving upwards. So conductor moving upwards. And what is the direction of the induced EMF? This is from negative terminal. So N becomes negative terminal, M becomes positive terminal. N becomes negative terminal because Fleming's right hand rule. So forefinger indicates the direction of the magnetic field, thumb indicates the direction of motion of the conductor, central finger indicates the direction of induced EMF. That is negative terminal, positive terminal. Negative terminal, positive. So which one is at more potential? M is at the more potential and N is at the less potential. So and this is the EMF. I am considering the small portion dx at a distance x. At a distance x, what is the magnetic field? So what is the EMF induced in the small portion dx? This is BLV formula, but L is nothing but here I am considering the small portion dx. So total EMF, just integrating like that. So this is next. So mainly problems are important here. The formulas are very simple, but problems where due to the combination moving charges and magnetism, electromagnetic. Induced EMF formula is always only BLV or BLV sin theta, but the applications are important here. So one more application here is one more example. A square loop of side A is placed in the same plane as the long straight wire carrying current I. So this is the long straight current carrying current I, and a square loop of side A is placed like this. The center of the loop is at a distance r from the center of the loop is at a distance r from the wire. The loop is moved away from the wire with constant velocity v. The loop is moving away from the wire at constant velocity v. The induced EMF in the loop is. What is the induced EMF in the loop? So that's we have to calculate. Induced EMF. So due to this current carrying conductors, infinite current carrying conductor, what is the direction of the magnetic field here? Inwards. Again write it is. So here magnetic field due to magnetic field due to infinite current carrying conductor, infinite current carrying conductor, magnetic field due to the infinite current carrying conductor. B is equals to general formula mu naught I by 2 pi r. This is inverse because curling of the fingers, this is inverse, mu naught I by 2 pi r, because it is at a distance r. So what is the flux generated here? Flux generated due to the motion of this conductor. What is the flux generated here? Phi is equals to BA. So phi is equals to B into A square. Phi is equals to B into A square. So here EMF is equals to minus d phi by dt. Induced EMF formula is minus d phi by dt. So minus d by dt of phi is, phi, what is phi? Sorry, phi is BA square. B is mu naught I by 2 pi r into A square. So that is minus mu naught I A square by 2 pi. So d by dt of 1 by r. This is the quantity changes. Here the distance varies. Distance varies. So that from this E can be written as minus mu naught I A square by 2 pi integral of, sorry, differentiation of 1 by r. So that is minus 1 by r square into dr by dt is V, minus 1 by r square into dr by dt. So that is minus of minus plus mu naught I A square by 2 pi r square into V, because the distance varies with time, r value varies with time, that acts as velocity. Mu naught I A square by 2 pi r square divided by 2 pi r square into V. This is the situation. So just phi is equals to BA, area is A square, induced EMF E is equals to minus d phi by dt, minus d by dt of mu naught I by 2 pi r into A square. Here what is the only quantity changes? R. If the total square loop moving outwards, this r value changes continuously, r value changes continuously. So that's why d by dt of r. So that is minus 1 by r square into dr by dt. So this is the formula. If a bar is rotating in uniform magnetic field, bar is rotating in uniform magnetic field, so the induced EMF what is the induced EMF developed in this situation? See here, this is the bar, this is the direction of the magnetic field inwards, this is the inward magnetic field, and let us say this is the bar rotating in the magnetic field with velocity v it is. So that means if the bar is rotating like this, so the end O is fixed here. Here the end O is fixed. That means this is the bar. Let us say if this bar is rotating in the magnetic field like this, if this bar is rotating, what is the EMF induced? Till now we discussed about if the conductor is moving in the magnetic field with certain linear velocity, linear motion. But if it is in rotational motion, what happens here? So let us say length of the bar is L. I am considering the small portion dr at a distance r. I am considering the small portion dr at a distance r. Then what is the induced EMF due to this? So here let us consider a small portion. Let us consider a small portion dr at a distance r from point O. So let us say dr is the small portion at a distance r, at a distance r. So now, so because here the end O is fixed, end O is fixed, that means this bar is rotating in this plane, this bar is rotating in this plane, here end O is fixed. So now what is the situation now in this situation? What is the small EMF developed here? Small EMF developed with the, it is bar is rotates with velocity v. Small EMF developed dE is equals to bv into dr. B is equal, dE is equals to bv into dr. So B is the magnetic field, V is the velocity of the conductor, and dr is the small portion. But we know velocity V is equals to r omega. But we know velocity of, in terms of angular velocity, V is equals to r omega. Because I am considering the small portion dr, that is at a distance r. So that is why V is equals to r omega. I am considering the dr at this position, B can be written as L omega. Just that is the generally linear velocity V is equals to r omega. What is r? Distance from the axis of rotation. This is the axis of rotation. From this I am considering the small portion dr at a distance r. So that is why V is equals to r omega. So that means dE is equals to B into r omega dr. So B r omega dr. So what is the total EMF induced? Total EMF induced. E is equals to integral of dE. Total EMF induced is equals to integral of dE. So that is E is equals to integral of 0 to L. So length of the conductor varies from O to this position, that means 0 to L, 0 to L. So dE in the sense here B r omega dr. So B omega into integral of r dr 0 to L. Integral of r dr, this is r square by 2, 0 to L. So B omega into L square by 2 minus 0 square by 2. So therefore E is equals to half B L square omega, half B L square omega. That is the EMF induced. If a conductor is rotating in the magnetic field, a conductor is rotating in the magnetic field, what is the EMF induced? Half B L square omega. What is B? Magnetic field. L is the length of the conductor and omega is the angular velocity, angular velocity. Or if velocity is mentioned, E is equals to half B L into L omega. So E is equals to half B L V. If the total length is considered as L omega, then this is also considered as half B L V, half B L V. What is the direction of induced EMF? So like this is the direction of induced EMF. This becomes negative and this becomes positive. So see here, Fleming's right hand rule. Forefinger indicates the direction of magnetic field, thumb indicates the direction of motion of the conductor, central finger indicates the direction of EMF. This is negative terminal and this is positive terminal. So this is half B L square omega, half B L square omega. So this is the situation. Now, so for example, next condition. So this is the magnetic field. This is the magnetic field. So, and this is the conductor placed like this, half. This is the fixed point O. The total conductor is placed like this, and this is rotated like this, like this. It is rotating about its center. Now what happens? So here this condition is with velocity v here, and this is with velocity v here, like that. In the previous case, the conductor is placed and it is rotated like this, total conductor rotating about this end. But here the situation is, the conductor is rotating about its midpoint. The conductor rotating in the magnetic field with the midpoint, about its midpoint. So here this is the direction of the magnetic field. Come to the Fleming's right hand rule. Forefinger indicates the direction of magnetic field, thumb indicates the direction of motion of the conductor, central finger indicates the direction of induced EMF 0 plus. And again here not supporting, right? Yes, this is. So here forefinger indicates the direction of the magnetic field, thumb indicates the direction of motion of the conductor, central finger indicates the direction of EMF. So that's why it is negative and it is positive. It is negative here. That means both the ends are at the same potential. This is negative potential and this is also negative potential. So here the condition is, when the conductor rotating in the uniform magnetic field, rotating in the uniform magnetic field about its midpoint, the potential difference across the ends of the conductor is zero. Across the ends of the conductor is big 0, because this end is at negative potential and this end is also at the same potential, negative potential, because if whatever is the velocity here, this is also the velocity, and this length is L by 2 and this length is also L by 2. This total conductor rotating in the same magnetic field, whatever is the potential here, the same amount of potential exists here. So that's why the potential difference between the ends of the conductor is 0. Next, potential difference between midpoint and one end of the conductor. So E is equals to, general formula, half B L square omega, but L is, what is the length of the conductor here? L by 2, because it is rotating about its midpoint, L by 2 whole square omega. So that is half B L square by 4 omega. So that is B L square omega by 8. the potential difference between midpoint and one end of the conductor, that means from here to here or here to here. So, that is B L square omega by 8. So, this is the motion of the conductor about its midpoint. So, next condition, so now come to the point, spokes of the wheel. So, for example, it is the cycle wheel or bike wheel, whatever it is, center point, all these are the spokes. All these are the spokes, like this. Now, what happens? What is the EMF induced across the spokes? If the wheel is rotating in a uniform magnetic field with certain angular velocity omega, the wheel is rotating in the uniform magnetic field with certain angular velocity omega, or if the disc is rotating in the uniform magnetic field, disc is rotating in the uniform magnetic field, what happens? So, that is, what is the length of the conductor here is nothing but radius. Radius is the length of the conductor. So, EMF induced is nothing but general formula half B L square omega, but in terms of L I am writing R, because R is the length of the conductor. Length of the spoke is R here. Length of the spoke is R. That is why E is equals to half B R square omega. So, that is, if the uniform disc is rotating in the uniform magnetic field about its center, uniform disc is rotating in the uniform magnetic field about its center, what is the EMF induced? That is half B R square omega. What is our radius? Here also, a wheel is rotating in the uniform magnetic field, the potential difference developed across the ends between the center and end of the spokes, between the axis of the wheel and this is the end of the spoke. That is the potential difference between these two is nothing but half B R square omega. Whatever it may be the number of spokes, same amount of EMF is developed. The EMF is developed across each and every spoke. The potential is developed across each and every spoke, and here all the spokes are in parallel. All the spokes are in parallel. That means same amount of potential difference exists. It does not depends on the number of spokes. Remember that, does not depends on number of spokes. So, that is the concept. The EMF developed across the spokes of the wheel. EMF developed across the spokes of the wheel. So, that is half B L square omega, or it is half B R square omega. Next, so, for example, next induced EMF or motional EMF, what we considered is motional EMF, or E is equals to general formula BLV, motional EMF is equals to. So, now what is the current developed in this situation? IR is equals to BLV, I is equals to BLV by R. Okay, no doubt about that. This is the current carrying through the conductor. If the current carrying conductor is placed in uniform magnetic field If the current carrying conductor is placed in uniform magnetic field, the force acting on the conductor is F is equals to BIL sin theta. We know that. So, already if the conductor is moving in the uniform magnetic field, certain amount of current is developed, that is induced current. So, what is that induced current here? BLV by R. Okay, no doubt about that. This conductor is placed in the uniform magnetic field, then that conductor experiences certain amount of force. That conductor experiences certain amount of force. What is that force? F is equals to BIL sin theta. F is equals to BIL sin theta. Definitely here theta must be equal to 90 because the conductor is moving in the magnetic field. The length of the angle between length of the conductor and magnetic field is 90. So theta 90. Then F is equals to BIL. So therefore F is equals to BIL is I is BLV by R into L. So the force acting on the conductor is B square L square V by R. So that is the force acting on the conductor. So till now we discussed conductor moving in the uniform magnetic field, induced EMF BLV, current is I equals to BLV by R. Due to this current, carrying conductor is placed in uniform magnetic field, certain amount of force acting on that. What is the force here? F is equals to BIL. So F is equals to BIL. But what is I? B square L square V by R. B square L square V by R. So now this is the force acting on the conductor. Now what is the power? P can be written as FV, or F is nothing but power is equals to force into velocity. So B square L square V by R into V. So that is equals to B square L square V square by R. Or we can write P is equals to I square R also. I square R. B square L square V square by R square into R. Same we can get. This is the power developed. F is equals to force and this is the power. F is the force and this is the power. That is the situation. That is motional EMF. Next. The same situation. Next, one more thing. This is the direction of the magnetic field. A rectangular loop is moving out of the conductor like this. So let us say this is the current carrying through the conductor. Rectangular loop is pulling out of the uniform magnetic field. So this is the direction of the current I. For example, we know the Fleming's left hand rule. Fleming's left hand rule. Forefinger indicates the magnetic field, thumb indicates the force and central finger indicates the direction of current. So see here, this is the, for example, in this layer, for example, this is the rectangular loop placed in the uniform magnetic field and this loop must be pulled out with certain speed. What is the force required for that? See here. So magnetic field like this, see here, Fleming's left hand rule, forefinger indicates the magnetic field, central finger indicates the direction of motion of the conductor, thumb indicates the direction of the force. Here the direction of the force is downwards, and on this wind, so like this, what is the direction of the force on this conductor? Like this, upwards. Fleming's left hand rule, forefinger, central finger, thumb indicates the direction of the force. Here it is the force. Here the force on this conductor is downwards and the force on this conductor is upwards, and these two forces in opposite direction both will cancel. And the direction of the force on this, what is the direction of the force here on this one? This is the direction of the force. And what is the force required here? F is equals to generally BIL. Force required is equals to BIL. Sin 90, current, the downwards is the current, magnetic field is inwards, angle is 90. So that's why it is BIL. So F is equals to BI is again BLB by R into L. So that is B square L square V by same situation in the previous situation. What is the force required to pull the rectangular coil out of the magnetic field? B square L square V by R. What is the power required in this situation? What is the power required? Force into velocity. Again power required is equals to force into velocity. So that is B square L square V by R into V. So that is B square L square V square by R. So this is the force required to pull the rectangular loop out of the magnetic field, because Fleming's left hand rule. So say on this upper conductor the direction of the force is downwards, on the lower conductor the direction of the force is upwards. These two forces are equal in magnitude because length of this conductor and this conductor must be same. Current is same, magnetic field is also same. So that's why force is same. These two forces must be cancelled, and this force is in this direction. What is that force? BIL, because this part is out of the magnetic field. Here this part is out of the magnetic field. No need to calculate the force on that. So that is F is equals to like this, and this is the power required in this situation. Next. Let's do some problems based on this. Mainly problems are important in these concepts. Always problems. So many problems. See here, page number 238. Page number 238. Example. A wheel with 10 metallic spokes, each of 5 meters long, is rotated with the speed of 120 revolutions per minute in a plane normal to the Earth's magnetic field at the place. The magnitude of the field is 0.4 Gauss. What is the induced EMF between the axle of the rim and the wheel? Length of each one is given as 0.5 meters, that means radius. Angular velocity is given as 120 revolutions per minute. So to calculate, convert this 120 into 2 pi by 60 radians per second. For one revolution, 2 pi radians, minute means 60. So if the revolutions per minute is mentioned, then to convert into radian per second, we must multiply 2 pi by 60, because one revolution is 2 pi radians, 1 minute is 60 seconds. So it is 62, so that is 4 pi. And B is given as 0.4 Gauss. So that is 0.4 into 10 to the power of minus 4 Tesla. So next, what we have to calculate? Induced EMF. Generally induced EMF formula is half B L square omega. Half B is 0.4 into 10 to the power of minus 4 L square, 0.5 whole square, 0.25 into omega is 4 pi. So that is 1 by 2 into 4 into 25 into 10 to the power of minus 7 into 4 pi. So 2 2s are 20, 50, 54 is 200, 10 to the power of minus 7 into pi. So 2 pi is 3.14 into 10 to the power of minus 5. 6.28 into 10 to the power of minus 5 volts. Next. So whatever it may be the number of spokes, the same amount of EMF is developed. Next problem. A metallic rod of resistance 20 ohm is fixed along the diameter of a conducting ring of radius 0.1 meter and lies in xy plane. There is a magnetic field of 50 Tesla K, that means positive z axis. The ring rotates with an angular velocity 20 radians per second about its axis. External resistance of, next example here it is, this is the ring and the conducting rod is fixed along the diameter, conducting rod is fixed along the diameter of the rod, and here one more 10 ohms resistance is placed like this. This is 10 ohms. A rod of resistance 20 ohms is fixed. This total resistance is 20 ohms. That means this is 10 ohms and this is 10 ohms. The total resistance of the rod is 10 ohms. So that's why this is 10 and this is 10. Now what is the current through the external resistance is? Now we have to find out the current. How can we calculate the current? First calculates EMF develop. EMF is equals to half B R square omega or B L square omega. B is 50 Tesla. Radius is, what is the radius mentioned here? 0.1 meter, that means 0.01. Omega is 20 radians per second. 20 radians per second. So that is 15 to 5 into 2, 10,000. 1000 into 0.01 by 2. So that is 10 by 2. So 5 volts EMF is. So but what is the effective resistance here? Effective resistance 10 are in parallel. So 10 into 10 by 10 plus 10. So that is equals to 5. And this 10 is in series. So R effective is equals to 15. Here this 10 and this 10 are in parallel. So effective resistance is 5 and the effective is in series with this one. So that's why 15. I is equals to E by R. E by R. So that is 1 by 3. It is. So that is the EMF we develop. EMF does not depend on resistance. Whatever it is, EMF formula is same, half B R square omega. So current effective rate, these two 10s are in series, sorry, parallel, and this is in series, like that. Next example, this page number 239. Page number 239, see the diagram, it is last one. It is a pair of parallel horizontal conducting rails of negligible resistance shorted at one end is fixed on the table. The distance between the can slide on the rails frictionlessly. The rod is tied to the massless string which passes over a pulley fixed to the edge on the table. A mass M is tied to the other end of the string, hangs vertically. A constant magnetic field B exists perpendicular to the table. The system is released from rest. Calculate. Two conditions. The terminal velocity are achieved by the rod. Terminal velocity are achieved by the rod. The acceleration of the mass at the instant when the velocity of the rod is half the terminal velocity. Half the terminal velocity. So what is the situation? That we have to calculate. So see the diagram here. Main thing it is This is the diagram. And this is the rail having certain length. This is passing over a smooth pulley and a mass M is tied at one end. So this is mg acts downwards, T is upwards. Here it is moving downwards. It is moving downwards. So now here, what is the net force here? Any situation, net force is equals to mg minus T. So MA is equals to mg minus T. What is T here? So it is T. What is T? T is nothing but force developed. So that is BIL, induced EMF, that is BLV by R into L. So B square L square V by R. B square L square V by R. R is already, resistance is not mentioned, but it is tension developed in the string is nothing but when the conductor is placed in the uniform magnetic field, the force experienced, that is equals to BIL. Just now we calculated force is equals to B square L square V by R. So here MA is equals to mg minus T is nothing but that is B square L square V by R. So what we have to calculate here, first option, the terminal velocity achieved by the rod. Terminal velocity achieved by the rod means, so terminal velocity achieved by the rod, achieved means acceleration must be 0. So terminal velocity means it is the constant velocity. So that's why acceleration is 0. There is 0. 0 is equals to mg minus B square L square V by R. So from this B square L square V by R is equals to mg. So from this V is equals to mg R by B square L square. So that is the terminal velocity achieved by the rod. Terminal velocity achieved by this block. V is equals to mg R by B square L square. Next, the acceleration of the mass at the instant when the velocity of the rod is half that of the terminal velocity. Velocity of the rod is half the terminal velocity. So that is again MA is equals to mg minus B square L square V by R. So that is A is equals to mg minus B square L square by R into V terminal velocity by 2. If the velocity is half that of the terminal velocity, then MA is equals to mg minus B square L square by R into terminal velocity is how much? mg R by 2B square L square. mg R by 2B, because this B square L square cancel, R cancel. So MA is equals to mg minus mg by 2. So therefore MA is equals to mg by 2. So acceleration is equals to g by 2. In this situation, if the terminal velocity, the velocity of the rails is equals to half that of the terminal velocity, then the acceleration in this situation is g by 2. And this is the terminal velocity. Terminal velocity means the constant velocity achieved. So the constant velocity means acceleration must be 0. So this is the net force. And what is the tension developed? Nothing but force, like that. So this is the situation, and these are the examples here.